All right, thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mindy. Thanks, Benito League. We're going to start with our first candidates tonight for mayor, Ignacio Velasquez, Gordon Machado, and Keith Snow. And as Mindy prompted, we're going to start with the opening statements from each candidate first, and you guys got 30 seconds. We'll start with Gordon Machado with your opening statement.
All right, thank you. 30 seconds, huh? Probably the main question is why I'm here, why I'm running. I served 12 years in the City Council and 10 years on the County Planning Commission. And some of those issues at that time have come back. And we thought we solved them then. But the experience that I had in those two areas is why I was encouraged to come back. I'm here for those main reasons. The one is the road, and the second issue is the growth within itself. I chaired a growth initiative for slower growth or controlled growth, or actually was balanced growth. And the other one was the 156 and 25 bypasses that are in town. Those were Measure A.
All right, thank you, Gordon. Sorry, it looks like we're having a little bit of difficulties with the timer.
You want to get that worked out first?
Your timer said 0.
You're dead.
Okay. Next will be Keith Snow.
My name is Keith. I'm running for mayor. I ran 4 times for mayor. I know all about city government. One thing that we have to get rid of waste. Waste means waste spending. One thing to be forgot our city government to run with the pathway. With a lot of issues, the listen scanner, there's a lot of crime in the city. We need more firefighters, police officers, and look at Measure G and say why it should not some make issue.
Thank you, Keith.
Thanks.
Ignacio.
So we're not using the clock anymore, using cards? Okay. Well, thank you, Farm Bureau and Benito Lincoln. Welcome, Youth Alliance. This election is all about growth and infrastructure. I've been very vocal about these issues because of the rapid growth we've been having in our community. One of the things we hear most often is we shouldn't grow or build any more houses until we fix Highway 25. That also was a quote from 2002. We've had this problem for so long, and we need to put a focus on it. We need to make sure we don't repeat the mistakes of the past.
Thank you, Ignacio. Sorry. It's short. Okay, now we'll start with the first question, and we're going to start with Keith. Compromise is necessary when interests are varied. What issues does Hollister have in common with the county, and how will you work with county, regional, and state leaders towards solutions that benefit everyone?
Well, for one, they don't compromise. If you look at all the means I've been to, then it's transparency, to be transparent. Me, I'm a post leader. So if the people vote for me, I'll make sure that the compromise where we can connect with the city, with leaders and all, spend their roads, maintain roads, and it's be alliance. We need more workshops for the kids and the people to connect and communicate. So as a leader, I'm a post leader, as a leader to vote to make it happen, be on the table. Thanks.
Thank you, Keith. Ignacio?
I give a couple of different examples of good things the county and the city have worked on in the past. And one of the best examples is the homeless shelter we now have in our community. This was an item that both the city and the county sat down. We acknowledged there was a big problem in our community of the homeless. We started working together for a solution, and within 2 years, we had a full-time shelter in our community. It's not perfect. It's a very difficult thing to solve all the problems, but it does work, and we're making a big difference in our community. And I can also say something that's very important about this. Just last week, Monterey County and the city of Salinas voted to adopt or build a homeless shelter based on the model we use here in our community. So the county and the city does work together very often. Another good example is when we pulled together, we went to Santa Clara County and the VTA, their transportation agency, and we talked about this issue we have in our community, the interchange at 101-25. Because of those meetings, Santa Clara County is now going to invest $70 million to build a new interchange at the 101-25. That came from a partnership working together between the city of Hollister, the county, and San Juan Bautista. We have been working together as partners, and we're going to continue to do that together.
Thank you. Gordon?
Thank you. Going back to when I served in the city council and worked with the county, when I was in city council, I was the voice of reason designated by the freelance at that time. But more so is the fact that working with the county on the 25 bypass, the roads, not only the 25 156 bypasses, also 9 projects within this county and the city. One was the extension of San Benito Street from Nash Road to Union Road. But more so than that, the state does not recognize our highways, state highways within our county as major highways. They're secondary highways. So the county and city had to get together as a unit and go to Sacramento. And when I say unit, there's probably 2 from each entity. We went there numerous times and met with the California Transportation Commission and also with Caltrans, the executive directors. We were fortunate enough to get all the way to the desk of the executive director. That's probably one of the biggest bureaucracies in the state of California. So it was an honor to sit with him across the table and negotiate the initiative and then the expenditures of implementing those 2 bypasses. Of course, 156 had a higher priority. It got implemented earlier. Secondary 25 took a little while longer.
Thank you, Gordon. So we'll start here with question 2, and we'll start with Gordon. A recent Youth Alliance survey showed that lack of money reduces recreational opportunity. It also showed community interest in more bike and walking paths and more safe, positive facilities like youth center or an adequate public library. What will you do to create more public spaces? How do you keep these facilities safe and clean for the general population?
Well, in reality, the city of Hollister is very involved in the recreation department. They serve quite a few within the community. But more so than that, into the question itself, as the community develops and the roads are implemented hand in hand with the development, in fact, they pay a portion of the fee. It's almost required today that you have bike paths, at least in the major thoroughfares, and you see them more and more. I'm a biker myself. It is kind of scary, and I'm glad to see those white lines that define the bike path. The facilities also, the county and city have been looking lately for a public library, and I think it's the joint use of a public library and a recreation center or a community center can be facilitated. I think both entities would save money for the good of the community.
Thank you, Gordon. Keith Snow?
Well, for one, we need like general revenue. Internal revenues we need especially all the slides and the playgrounds Do you know that if those people PM or anything on there like needles inside the sands, we have to what's called passivity. And passivity means we need the prioritize the people. And we have to things that we need to change policies. That we need to do, we need to change policies. We need to work together as a city council and transfer with the county. For one, if you look at my page, all the things are solved right because I have good ideas and good questions. And I work with the Caltrans. I work with the Sacramento County where I'm from. It assists me on my professionals and all that, and the people. People need a voice. So point is right. If you look on like he's mentioned 25, our Dr. Nick, they be wine 25. So I work with other plans. We just wine, San Felipe, Fraser Lake, and that's for the county and city. So we have to do our job, and especially our kids like at the playground and all that. So it's all waste.
Thank you. Thanks, Keith. Ignacio?
One of the things I've been very vocal about, and one of the reasons I've been voting no on all new projects, is because I'm insisting that any new project built in our community has to have a bike path and a walking path from wherever that development is to the heart of downtown. We should never again approve projects where we can't safely have our kids walk to school. It's a shame that we're seeing some neighborhoods where kids are walking in the dirt or in the mud when it rains. So I've been pushing to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm hoping to get more support these future years. One of the other projects we've been working as partners, the county and the city, is what we call the TEL Center. And that is a technology education library. And what the concept is to build a new library on the first floor, tutoring rooms, gaming rooms, so the kids can come after school, spend time in this facility, learn about computers, get help with their homework, or spend time there if they want to hang around a community center. The upper floors, the idea was let's have classrooms that focus on technology so we can teach our kids how to get the skills they need to make sure they can get the high-paying jobs, and so we can eventually bring high-paying jobs here, because the biggest need we have is making sure our kids get the education at the highest level possible to get those high-paying jobs in our community. So we've been working towards that as a group together.
Thank you, Ignacio. Gordon? Oh, I'm sorry. So we're going to move on to the closing statements now. 90 seconds for each candidate, and Ignacio, you start.
Thank you. As I said earlier, we need to change our focus from just building homes to focus on our infrastructure, to focus on jobs, to focus on our community. We need to have quality of life in our community. We need to make sure our residents can go to work and come back home in a time that's reasonable so they can spend time with their families. This idea of just building more and then clogging our roads so we have 2-3 hour commutes, it's hurting our community. We need to focus on that quality of life, building projects such as the TEL Center, such as the sports park, that bring people to come visit us and spend time in our community and spend their dollars here. There are so many great things we could do as a community, but we have to put a focus on those items. We need to stop with the idea of just building more homes will fix our problems. The past has made it clear that won't work. But as a community, we know if we all pull together, we could do some great things together. So it's very important we stay focused on positive issues that benefit our community. And I hope you can support me. I humbly ask for your vote in this election. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ignacio. Gordon?
Thank you. Again, back to why I decided to run. One of the things that I think is the industry within our community. I've been out in the industrial area and talked to different manufacturers, a couple of them that at one time intended to leave. I want to know why. I got the answers. But more so is the recruitment of industry to our area. It would cut down on the commute out of our community if we get some of the industry out of the Santa Clara Valley. Again, I've talked to one or two, and it looks promising. The wage factor within our community would go up, and of course the commute would go down. I think this looks good for the very future. The other thing is the growth issue, which the mayor on Facebook has challenged me many a times that I'm pro-growther and supported by all the developers within the community, and even said the other day I was getting tens of thousands of dollars from them. And that's not true. I've always been a balanced growther, meaning that all your amenities within your community, amenities meaning water, service, and everything else, must match before you grow. So, I am hurt at what I see on Facebook from my competitor, and to the point where,
Thank you.
can I?
Keith?
Well, I ran for mayor 4 times. I'm not giving up for the people. Said out of the voice. If you look out there, a lot of people that grow their houses. We have affordable housing. Have they said that? No. And the one, my opponent right there, excuse yourself. And all of a sudden, the other one over there, mayor twice, 14 city council. None, it's all about that. I know about city operations. I know about how it runs to vote. When we meet that third vote, now the same page with the council, well, look at this. Our thought, I'm already proof of that. Our thought, Danny, he'll talk over there, and make our city council bigger. So then we have city planning department and city plan and council there. So then when people talk, not 3 minutes, 5 minutes, we're gonna no waste of space. We're not gonna have city broadcasts, mess up or we need a smooth pathway. And that's the truth of honesty. And all decisions, ideas, it's on my page. I'm here for the people, here for truthfully. I'm here for money. And I said before, and I say again, I want to do escrow account so the kids get, wherever I get paid by government, I have city income. I know how people are struggling to live here. We have the highest ever sewage bill and water bill. Do you know that we don't own the water? No, we don't.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.